and I think it was because I didn't have a visa or something. I forgot. I'm gonna get stuck here. I might be stuck in London. And I thought that was kind of scary for a tiny bit until Miss Tonkin came and helped me.
My favorite was going to Paris and seeing the Eiffel Tower and the Arc de Triomphe, and those were my favorite because I've never seen such beautiful buildings, and they were so different from the stuff in Australia.
And seeing Paris was really, really wonderful and romantic because lots of people were there, and people were having honeymoons and everything.
I liked Paris because I saw the Arc de Triomphe, the Mona Lisa, the Louvre, Eiffel Tower, and all of them were pretty special to me. And I saw Notre Dame.
The Mona Lisa is behind us, one of the world's most famous paintings, and is one of the best too.
When we went to the Eiffel Tower, I thought it wasn't going to be as big as what it was, and it was really surprising.
The Eiffel Tower is bigger than it looks on the TV.
It looks better at night than what it does at daytime. I got to see the Eiffel Tower for my first time.
My favourite part of the trip was seeing the Eiffel Tower.
My favourite place to visit was the Eiffel Tower because not many people would, and it's really famous in Paris, so it was like sightseeing.
And in Paris we did lots of walking.
Walking around Paris was really, really hard, but I got used to it. And I kind of learned something as well, that Mr. Cully looks old, but he can walk.
If you feel like walking, if you feel like walking, if you feel like walking, I'll be on my way. If you feel like talking, if you feel like talking, if you feel like talking, I'll find you there. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'll be on your side. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Can't take back time. Can't press rewind. Time can't make you mine again. But if you feel like dancing, if you feel like dancing, if you feel like dancing, I'll hold your back. If you feel like loving, if you feel like loving, if you feel like loving, I'll be on your side. If you feel like loving.
Hey, look!
Jinx! Oh, the blue door, number 54, is where Van Gogh, the famous artist,
Paris hotel was very comfortable and I liked their beds, and I did what my auntie told me to jump on their beds before I left.
Novotel. Because I could speak to a Frenchman. And because I liked not knowing but watching TV in French.
On one of the days in Paris, it was so sunny, and we were walking to the Arc de Triomphe, and we stopped because our legs were aching, so we just watched, and two men wore red beanies and started shouting stuff in French, and then other people started joining in, and two police officers had to take the men away, and that was pretty scary.
I liked Arc de Triomphe, or the Arc de Triomphe, because in Australian it means Arc of Triumph, and that was from the war when the French were triumphing.
On movies, they showed us that people are really rich. Like, everyone has a house, but when we went there, we kind of saw some poor people. I felt a bit sad for them, and I was wondering why they would be there. But I really liked how Sam had empathy for them and gave them some money. I kind of wish I had money so I could give it to them.
Like in Paris, they eat snails, which isn't very nice. Like, they don't taste nice. Well, they tasted like the garden. I didn't really like them, and some people saying that they tasted like chicken, but they didn't taste anything near chickens.
The snails were like cooked, and they had like garlic, and they were all green. Squishy. We were meant to eat the snails, and if all of us did it, Mr. Adams faced the stand on table and do the single lady dance. Well, he did it, but not properly, and he didn't really do the dancing properly. Embarrassed. Because people were staring and saying, "Who's that guy coming from?"
The most interesting trip for me was actually trying out the snails in Paris. When I first saw the snails, I was disgusted and I just didn't want to eat it. But then when I tried it, it actually tasted really good and I liked it. I've had lots of people asking me about the snails, asking if it was good, if it was garden snails, or if it was delicious. And I just said it was great.
Just before we went into a restaurant, and most of us ate snails.
On the trip, I felt a mixture of feelings like sad, missing my family, excited to be the only one from my family to actually kind of do it, or the first of my family.
On the trip, I had lots of emotions. I felt kind of nervous and happy and a bit sad, and yeah, those were mostly the feelings.
Why did I feel? I felt sad because I missed the people that I liked over there, and I felt happy because we had some laughs.
Happy because we got to go overseas and meet people and go to places, and sad because we had to leave our parents and our host families and stuff, and then excited because we got to go overseas and meet people and go to places, and sad because we had to leave our parents and our host families and stuff, and then excited because we got to go overseas and meet people and go to places, and then excited because we got to leave our parents and our host families and stuff, and then excited because we got to go overseas and meet people and go to places, and then excited because we got to leave our parents and our host families and stuff, and then like because we didn't know what we were going to do on the days that we went places. I think it made me feel happy and kind of upset because I kind of missed my family a little bit.
Excited because we got to see things across the world that I've never been overseas before. And I was actually a bit sad because we really had to leave people and go back to Australia.
A lot of happiness and I had a lot of happiness because it was really, really, really fun.
Barkley, when he said that he learned a new talent, which was how to use a knife and fork.
Yesterday I learned a new talent, how to use a fork and knife, and my host family taught me, and I went to a soccer match and it was really cold.
Jack.
Like Jack.
Jack.
The funniest thing was Jack's joke. Those were hilarious and I couldn't stop laughing at them till now.
Got a lot of talents. Example, doing jokes.
Jack was really hyperactive. Like every place we went, he kept talking about it to me and Nathan, and got, I think, a little bit too excited.
Jack, when we went to Scotland, when we first went to the bar, he tried Iron Brew, and then for basically the whole trip, he never stopped talking about it.
Jack was talking about Iron Brew, like he wanted his chips to be marinated in Iron Brew, and yeah.
Like Jack, talking about Iron Brew and other things. Jack talking about Iron Brew and the other thing that I don't want to say.
Yeah, Dundee. We went to the Dundee, and we also we heard about some planets like Mars, Saturn, and then there's one more. There's a planet that Jack likes, and then at the end, the person showed us all the planets, and he said, "Does anyone have any questions?" And Jack put his hand up.
So we went to the solar system show, and of course one of the planets are Uranus, or as said by English, Uranus. So I wanted to know where all the planets were,
and was making weird noises just to get attention. And then the man says, "Yes, young man."
So I asked a very simple but funny question: where's Uranus? And we all laughed in there.
About traveling, I learned to get as much free hands as you can when you're at the airport. Mr. Cully taught me that one, and I've learned to try to have fun as much as you can.
Wow, it was a long trip because we had to go on a 21-hour plane trip, which was long because one of them was 12 hours and the other was 7, which I don't know if that makes. And then the other one was 13 and then 8, which I thought was weird because when we went from Melbourne to Kuala Lumpur it was 8, and then when we went from Kuala Lumpur to Melbourne it was 7.
The fun bit was going all the way from the other side of the world, and the hard bit was getting on and off with our luggage.
I thought the travel was a bit harder than I thought, because I just thought it was just going to be a regular flight, but then I didn't know. But then I learnt more stuff about it, like how the crew sleeps and stuff like that.
Travel's fun and it takes your mind off a lot of things.
That some people can be nice, like Nathan. I didn't understand him fully, but he turned out really funny and fun at the same time.
I took my mind off school and I took my mind off home because I was seeing such good places.
What I've learned overseas is that everybody has different ways of living and they have different things to you, and the other students I've seen their fun side and how they really enjoy themselves, and yeah.
French people speak weirdly, and Scotland have their accents, and it made me think about home, like Australian people's accents. It means talk like Australian. I don't really have to, but it's funny too. I think it's a privilege because only 20 million of the world get to instead of 6 billion. So to have that privilege is quite amazing.
They all live differently and they all do different things and they all have different cultural things. That we do different things to other countries and we eat different things to countries. Well, they're kind of the same but kind of different. And other countries have different food. I learned about the world that everybody is different. We don't all live the same.
What I've learned is that it has great things like you could see about the world and they're beautiful.
That I could get more involved in things. Like sometimes I wouldn't really join into things, and when I went overseas I learned to join into more things and be more confident.
For myself, I think I learned how to overcome my fears, like eating snails and hopping on airplanes.
When I was there, I kind of felt a bit stronger and like a bit more better than I was, more braver, doing all the things we did.
I learned that I can boost up my confidence, because I did, and my education, and I thought that helped lots.
I've felt more confidence than I felt before.
I might have more things to talk about when I go to my sisters or my friends or my cousins and stuff. Because I'm usually like shy and I can't say anything.
Because I would have memories, and if I can't do it again, it would help me and remember what I did when I was younger.
Saddest thing that happened on the trip was leaving the Scottish family. Because I enjoyed them, enjoyed staying with them, and loved them.
Leaving our host families, because everybody in our Scotland group was crying.